Distinguished leaders and guests from all around the world, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the highlights of the 6th Rally of Hope presented by Universal Peace Federation, Europe and Middle East. The world today is still suffering the serious damage and after effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The biggest issues born of this pandemic, however, are the self-centered policies and trends that focus on the survival of one's own country and people. For this reason, Dr. Haq Jahan Moon, co-founder of UPF and the Mother of Peace, has advocated for the realization of a world of permanent peace wherein all live well together in interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universally shared values. Today, on the foundation of the Rallies of Hope and the 6 pillar organizations of UPF, we are holding this event for the launch of Think Tank 2022, which is an international alliance of experts that will work for the realization of peace in one of the only remaining divided nations in the world, the Korean Peninsula, as well as the realization of a heavenly unified Korea and ultimately a heavenly unified world. We will now begin our program with the peace offering. 8 religious leaders from the Asia-Pacific region representing different faiths will come together and combine their waters of peace as a symbol of unity and harmony between religions. This will be followed by the peace anthem.
Now we will have the peace offering, an interfaith prayer to wish for peace around the world. There will be a water of peace and a declaration to heaven. 8 representative religious leaders from Asia Pacific, as well as religious leaders from around the world, will all join for the peace offering. In particular, 120 clergy from around the world will be joining through a live stream. First, from Islam, President of the As-Salam Society, Mulana Hussain. From Christianity, Dr. K.B. Rokaya. From Tibetan Buddhism, the Venerable Karma Lama. From Buddhism, the Venerable Dharma Murti. From Hinduism, Swami Ananda Vinod. For Sikhism, Gyani Gobid Singh. For Jainism, Dr. Naman Upadhyaya. For Heavenly Parents Holy Community, Reverend Prakash Babu Thapa. The religious leaders are invited to join around the Water of Peace bowl for the Water of Peace. 1, 2, 3. 합수!
Today, more than half a billion people across 194 nations around the world are participating in this Rally of Hope, the launch of Think Tank 2022. We are gathered in unprecedented circumstances in the midst of the disaster and despair of the COVID-19 pandemic. Human beings are searching for a way out of this darkness and other serious social ills that have befallen us. Think Tank 2022 will bring hope to the Korean Peninsula and the world, helping the realization of one family of humanity, a holy community centered on Heavenly Parent that embraces all faiths, cultures, and peoples throughout the world. Heavenly Parent, please bless this day and may Think Tank 2022 be the vessel through which the wisdom of peace-loving leaders throughout the world connect to the Korean Peninsula. We offer this in the name of all the religious leaders present Ajru.
For today's highlight event, two religious leaders will offer peace messages and prayers. Reverend Canon Anne Esther from the United Kingdom and Sheikh Muhammad Al-Amili from Lebanon. The prayers will be followed by the song Arirang by Park Gabin from the Little Angels.
Eternal God, in whose perfect kingdom no sword is drawn but the sword of righteousness, and no strength known but the strength of love. So guide and inspire, we pray thee, the work of those who seek to establish justice and peace in the Korean Peninsula, and the blessing of God Almighty, Creator, Redeemer, Sustainer of us all, be with you in this conference, particularly today and the next coming days, and keep you safe, inspire you, and bring you peace. Amen.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم يا رب السماوات والأرض وخالق الأكوان، نسألك أن ترحم عبادك وأن تعفو عنهم، فإننا خطأ ومذنبون ولا حول ولا قوة لنا من دونك. اللهم أعنا على نشر ثقافة الحوار والتلاقي ومحبة الآخرين واحترام كافة الأديان والثقافات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم آمين.
아리랑
What a beautiful and moving rendition of Korea's Arirang. Let us give another round of applause for Pakabin of the Little Angels. She has touched us.
Next is the welcoming remarks given by His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, 8th Secretary General of the United Nations. In 2020, he was awarded the Sunhak Peace Prize and spoke at our first Rally of Hope. After which we will listen to congratulatory remarks from Her Excellency Yoza Osmani, President of Kosovo, His Excellency Dr. Hussein Mouini, President of Zanzibar, and His Excellency José Manuel Barroso, former President of the European Commission and also former Prime Minister of Portugal.
Excellencies, leaders, global citizens from around the world, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be part of the Rally of the Hope for the launch of Think Tank 2022 and the firm establishment of a heavenly united Korea. I would like to express my sincere appreciation and congratulations on the successful launch of the Think Tank 2022, where 2022 eminent leaders have gathered from around the world to show their support for the establishment of a heavenly united Korea beyond permanent peace on the Korean Peninsula. My special thanks go to Dr. Hakja Han Moon, who hosted today's meaningful rally. Dr. Moon successfully hosted the World Summit 2020 in February of last year, and also solemnly arranged the online Rally of Hope series even during the pandemic crisis. I'm of the view that today's rally holds meaningful significance in that it will serve as a platform to deeply delve into the topic of materializing mutually beneficial and sustainable peace on the Korean Peninsula. What makes this event more special are the distinguished participants comprised of global leaders and experts representing diverse sectors. United in the shared commitment to paving a path toward peace on the Korean Peninsula, based on my experience, I came to understand that when the government, civil society actors, business leaders, and other key stakeholders agree to serve common goals that are greater than national self-interest and ideologies, it is possible to bring about substantial, positive change on a global level. Of course, it takes vision and leadership, as well as relentless hard work and dedication. But most importantly, we need to have faith in ourselves and confidently march forward together. In this respect, I highly applaud the tireless efforts of Dr. Moon and the thousands of experts who have endorsed establishing Think Tank 2022 under the shared goal of achieving lasting peace on the Korean Peninsula. To be sure, this is no simple task. The roots of this conflict between the two Koreas are deeply entangled, and the immense weight of history is bearing down upon them. Given its own history and characteristics, whatever resolution may be achieved on the Korean Peninsula, will have its own unique reasons and features, and must surely involve the will of the people of both Koreas. Moreover, it will not take place in isolation. As we know, there are powerful stakeholders with interest in both the process and the outcome of any major development on this peninsula. Nevertheless, today we are invited to take an important step in the right direction. Even as a civil society initiative, we can enlighten other stakeholders to envision a brighter future and create a positive movement together. In closing, I'd like to express my deep appreciation again to Dr. Hak Ja-han Moon for taking the first step in this historic journey. Let us work together to realize a peaceful world for all the people around the world, and that is our moral and political responsibility living in this era. Thank you for your kind attention, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. 감사합니다.
It is such a pleasure to join you all for this year's Universal Peace Federation event, the Rally of Hope, and to be able to address you here today as President of the Republic of Kosovo. The work of this institution is incredibly important, and I want to thank the Universal Peace Federation for hosting me today, and in particular your co-founder, Dr. Hak Ja-han Moon, for their efforts to help humanity foster hope for the future. Like the UPF, I passionately believe that we need to create a deeper sense that we're all part of one human family that transcends race, ethnicity, religion, nationality, and culture. We're all going through one of the most challenging periods in our collective recent history. The story of the Republic of Kosovo is ultimately a story of hope. Hope and determination helped us build the independence and freedom that we so deeply cherish today. And we have paid a very high price for it. That is why we as a nation are fully committed to ensuring peace and stability around the world. Hope is a powerful thing. Hope is a motivator, it is a healer, and it can even guide us through the darkest moments. We must recognize its power and embrace it. Thank you, and the kindest wishes from the Republic of Kosovo.
Dr. Hak Ja-han, known as the Mother of Peace or Mother Moon, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the government and the people of Zanzibar, I commend you for your tireless investments, especially in the recent years, to make Africa a brighter continent through summit and educational programs held in various parts of the continent, guided by your vision of one family under one God. Even though the Korean Peninsula seems far from the African continent, we recall that Africans took part in the Korean War with the hope to restore peace and democracy. Unfortunately, Korea remains divided 70 years later. I salute the initiatives of Mother Moon to create a think tank composed of experts from all around the world and all walks of life to come up with innovative ideas that could contribute to restore peace and security in a united Korea. The year 2020 will go down as a year of history in Zanzibar as a result of my deliberate intention to restore the GNU during campaigns as well as after the announcement of the electoral results gave confidence and hope to many people, including those from the opposition party. In Zanzibar, this marks the beginning of a reconciled phase, 28 years after the adoption of multi-party politics. My government will work together with the private sector and development partners to promote job creation and improve education, health, and infrastructure in line with Zanzibar 2050 development vision, and I want to assure you that my country is ready to cooperate with the Universal Peace Federation and its associations in promoting peace and development. I thank you for your kind attention.
And Spinoza said on peace, peace is not just absence of war. Peace is a state of mind, a state of benevolence, confidence, and justice. And I believe that at the basis of peace, there is a human being. And this is very important when you think about it, because with all respect for all ideas, all institutions, all regimes, it was man that created them. It was not them that created man. And the more important value is the value of human dignity. The fact that we are all members of the same human family. The reality is that this virus has shown us once more the need for global and cooperative action. The virus does not stop at national doors. The virus does not respect borders. It's affecting everybody. And we have been saying that nobody is safe until everyone is safe. And we are now struggling to get the vaccines we need all over the world. We need not just financing. Of course, we welcome all the generosity of donors, but also we need the spirit of those sharing as soon as possible, in that spirit precisely of solidarity. This is a concrete example of the fact that to solve a global problem, we need a global solution. We are seeing that every day. But together we can beat that virus. And I believe that while we are seeing negative trends, like the ones I just mentioned, we are also seeing positive trends. We are seeing solidarity, we are seeing great acts of generosity, we are also seeing the heroism of so many frontline health workers. We are seeing great examples of the best of mankind. So there are reasons for hope. This virus reminds us that public health is a public good. And for global public goods, we need this global action. And I believe there is no more important global public good than peace. Peace is the basis of all these values. And also peace now is under threat. That's why it is important to make progress searching a solution for some long-lasting problems. A very important example is, of course, Korea. It is important that there is progress towards a peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula. Not only for the sake of Korea, but for Northeast Asia and for the entire world indeed. I know there are now good efforts in that direction. For instance, like Think Tank 2022, that unites experts from all over the world, from so many disciplines, thinking about new ideas, new processes to achieve precisely that peaceful reconciliation. That effort was initiated by UPF. And I'd like to congratulate and to commend UPF for all their efforts in favor of peace, in favor of solidarity and mutual understanding between opposing views. And I underline opposing views, because if they are the same views, they don't need to be reconciled. What is really difficult is to accept the other, to speak with those who have contradictory views, opposing views to our own views. And this is more important than ever now. And it is precisely because of that spirit, that UPF is inspiring so many men and women all over the world, precisely because they understand that at the basis of peace, there are the fundamental ideas of justice, confidence, and benevolence. I thank you for your attention.
신한국 통일!
We wish for a heavenly unified Korea. People from around the world have gathered here. We had the first, second, third, fourth, fifth rallies of hope, and we are now marching forward. Looking back on my younger years, I see that Korea has developed into this incredible nation that is attracting the attention of the world. We welcome you all. We are so grateful. Truly, Korea will develop, but it is only by working together with you. Thank you for your interest in Korea and Korea's days of blessings are coming. What a blessed day to wish for the heavenly unified Korea.
For today's event, we have a remarkable list of speakers who are experts in their own fields, including politics, food security, economics, and others. Due to the time frame of our highlight event, we are unable to show all the speakers this time, but we invite you to listen to all their speeches at our website rallyofhope.eu. The first 3 keynote speeches will be given by Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, who has also served as an advisor to UPF and the Washington Times. Mike Pompeo, former U.S. Secretary of State, who was deeply involved in 3 North Korea-U.S. summit meetings between U.S. President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. And Mark Esper, former U.S. Secretary of Defense.
Thank you for involving me in this remarkable historic moment. You know, when Dr. Moon founded the Universal Peace Federation, he had a dream, and he thought that the progress of Rallies of Hope would really help change the human race's attitude towards violence. Mother Moon has built on that, and because of their hard work, they have been able to really move millions of people. I've been in a number of their meetings. I've seen people around the world. I know the reach they're developing. And it's based on a very simple premise, that we have to reach out to each other beyond the politicians, beyond the governments. So this is really an important thing. And this brand new program that has been developed for Think Tank 2022, with 1,100 experts from all over the world working together, trying to find the wisdom and the experience to come together to find a way to unify Korea peacefully, bringing together the Korean people and the Korean governments as a way of avoiding the very grave danger of nuclear war. Now, with this new Think Tank 2022, there will be a whole range of new innovations, new recommendations, new kinds of interparliamentary work where people come together outside the traditional formal structures, but find a way, looking at food security, looking at the environment, looking at opportunities for humans to have greater prosperity. So you're going to see high-level international teams visiting stakeholders around the world, working together United States, Russia, China, Japan, South Korea, North Korea, Australia, India, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines. All of these are a chance to create a common dialogue so that relationships can be built with the diplomatic corps of North Korea, and people in the North Korean Foreign Office can come to have relationships, even friendships, around the world that broadens their perspective. So I think this is an important direction. I hope you'll carry a message of optimism, a message of hope, and a message that together we can create a safer, freer, and much more desirable.
Hello. It's an honor to address this rally of hope, sponsored by the Universal Peace Federation, as one in a series of such virtual gatherings that bring together heads of state, parliamentarians, faith, business, and academic leaders from 150 nations for dialogue and the peaceful resolution of differences leading to cooperation for a better world. I want to recognize also and thank Dr. Moon, who founded the Washington Times with her late husband, continues her work today with the UPF, focusing her energy on healing the great conflicts in our world, and especially those between long-standing conflict nations, North and South Korea, attempting to heal that divide. Dr. Moon, having escaped with her Christian mother and grandmother from North Korea before the Korean War, made it her life's work to see permanent and peaceful reconciliation on the Korean Peninsula. This can happen. When the Trump administration came into office, we took seriously the need to confront the problem set presented not only to the people of the DPRK and the Republic of Korea, resulting from their historic conflicts, but also to bring nations around the world together to deliver a good outcome related to the global risk to peace from North Korea's nuclear weapons arsenal. I was honored to work with President Trump as his lead negotiator, spending dozens and dozens of hours arranging for the two summits in Singapore and Hanoi, and ultimately the historic DMZ visit as well. The joint statement from the June 18th Singapore summit is a historic document. It was President Trump who emphasized in his meetings with Chairman Kim that our objective was really simple: the complete and verifiable denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Chairman Kim agreed to this. He agreed this was his objective, while noting that eventual normalization of relations with the United States was also his goal, as was the reunification of the Korean Peninsula. Look, done well, the reunification of the Korean Peninsula is achievable. We must all work together to accomplish these important goals. We saw great progress with Chairman Kim and North Korea throughout our engagement with him. Nuclear testing stopped. Long-range missile test stopped. This took down risk. And I want to encourage President Moon to continue to pursue resolution of these issues with North Korea. And we encourage the Biden administration, and we pray them well. We hope they will devote the same time that we did, the same time and effort that President Trump did, to such an important international issue. One does not know in any given conflict which day or hour the peace will come. But with prayer, faith, and commitment to the Lord, peace will follow. And America will stand for freedom and peace in Northeast Asia as well. The good work and love of all people in the region will, Lord willing, continue this drive towards increasing peace and broad-based prosperity for every human being. May God bless you all.
Distinguished leaders, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to address this year's Rally of Hope, an important annual event sponsored by the Universal Peace Federation. I also want to recognize and thank Dr. Moon, who founded the Washington Times with her late husband and continues her work today with the Universal Peace Federation. She has made it her life's work to see an enduring and peaceful reconciliation between North and South Korea. Despite our efforts in the past, Pyongyang has built a formidable military with nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles that can reach South Korea, Japan, and even the United States. Yet, unlike before, these last few years actually saw enough progress to give us some hope. While we didn't end the North's nuclear and missile programs or curtail its bad behaviors, we did see them halt their testing of long-range missiles and nuclear devices. Credit for this goes to leaders and diplomats from both our countries, those who were willing to meet with Chairman Kim Jong-un in a quest for security and peace. It is my hope that both our countries continue this important work together. It is important not just to the security and stability of the Korean Peninsula and Northeast Asia, but also for the peoples on both sides of the DMZ. Though the world is deeply challenged, especially in Northeast Asia, I remain hopeful and optimistic. I never thought the Cold War would end, but it did. I never thought Eastern Europe would be free, but it is. I never thought Israel and Arab nations would come together, but they are doing just that. And I never thought that an American president would meet with the leader of North Korea, but that happened too. The Abraham Accords are an example of what can be achieved when leaders think big, aim high, and work hard. We need that same spirit and attitude in our dealings with Pyongyang and Beijing. Allow me to wrap up by saying that times of crisis often tend to be the moments of greatest opportunity. Such periods, though, demand great leaders and great leadership, the type that brings people together, that appeals to ideas far bigger than our current differences, and that inspires us to work together in common cause on behalf of peace, freedom, and justice. The world is at an historical inflection point today. We have entered a new era of great power competition. It is time for leaders all around the world, including those participating in this rally of hope, to step up, speak up, and stand firm. I am confident the United States of America will do its part and continue to lead, and that we will do so hand in hand and shoulder to shoulder with our allies and partners around the world. Together, we will address the epic challenges before us and achieve our shared goals of preserving the peace and protecting our freedoms. Thank you.
What would a rally of hope be like without the performance of the Little Angels of Korea? Let us now listen to a couple of their beautiful songs.
꿈꾸지 않으면 사는 게 아니라고
Congratulations on the launch of Think Tank 2022.
We have come to the moment when we will be observing the signing of the Think Tank 2022 resolution. Over 200 of the best experts in every field, including politics, economics, religion, culture, national security, and environment, have joined together to create this tool that will be used to find a solution for many of the world's problems by focusing their attention first at the conflict of the Korean Peninsula. Let us watch the video of this significant and historical signing event.
I humbly invite you to please rise as the co-founder of UPF, Dr. Hak Cha-han Moon, joins us on the stage to sign the resolution of Think Tank 2022. Let us welcome the founder with a heartfelt round of applause. Dr. Hak Cha-han Moon has dedicated her life to practicing true love and inspiring humanity to follow her example, practicing true love as a means of realizing an ideal world of lasting peace. Dr. Hak Cha-han Moon has toured the world sowing seeds of true love, transcending barriers of nationality, religion, ethnicity, or culture. She has been recognized as the mother of peace by leaders around the world. And in particular, she is bringing experts from around the world into an international alliance, Think Tank 2022, aimed at promoting a culture of peace in the different areas of the world to foster the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula and to a larger degree, the heavenly unified world. Let us once again welcome Dr. Hak Cha-han Moon, the mother of peace, the true mother, with a round of applause. And now, Dr. Hak Cha-han Moon is going to receive the resolution of Think Tank 2022 that has been signed by leaders from around the world, and all of the leaders going beyond the limits and the barriers of nationality, of religion and culture. They support the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula and the realization of a lasting world of peace. Please take a look at the resolution on the screen. And now, Dr. Hak Cha-han Moon will sign the resolution. And now, as Dr. Hak Cha-han Moon, whom we call True Mother, will sign the Think Tank 2022 resolution. Thank you, Mother Moon. Thank you, True Mother. Thank you for signing this historic resolution that is bringing together experts from around the world into an international alliance for the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula. And there is a very important announcement today at the launch of Think Tank 2022. The chairman of the committee for Think Tank 2022 will be His Excellency Pan Ki-moon. He has agreed to be the chairman of this initiative. Let us give him another round of applause. And now, True Mother will hit the gong to announce the official launch of Think Tank 2022. At the count of 3, True Mother will hit the gong. Please join me in counting to 3.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. This is really an incredible alliance for a heavenly unified Korea. The Mother of Peace has signaled the launch of Think Tank 2022. Thank you, True Mother. Thank you, the Mother of Peace. And now, let us all put our hearts together and let us sing the song of unity to move all the citizens in the Korean Peninsula, but also everyone around the world to wish for peace on the Korean Peninsula. Ladies and gentlemen, let us sing the song of unity together with the little angels. Today, we have come together to express our wishes to establish a strong foundation for the realization of a heavenly unified Korea and the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula. We have taken an important step to bring together experts from around the world, and we really were able to reflect the support of the entire world for the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula. Today, we know that the realization of peace in the Korean Peninsula, in Asia, and around the world will bear tremendous fruits.
Our next group of keynote speakers today includes Professor Sarah Gilbert, Oxford vaccine co-developer and lead researcher at the University of Oxford in the United Kingdom, and Chairman Jim Rogers, who is a world-class investment expert and a special advisor to UPF and IAED.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm speaking to you from Oxford in the UK, where spring has now arrived, bringing with it, as always, feelings of hope and rejuvenation after the cold, dark winter. But this year, the sense of hope is stronger than ever. We are emerging from the lockdown restrictions imposed for our safety during the winter, and as we cautiously return towards the full opening up of society, half of the UK population has received at least the first dose of one of the vaccines that were created, tested, and licensed for emergency use in the last 16 months. Oxford University partnered with AstraZeneca for the late-stage development and large-scale manufacture of our COVID-19 vaccine. With our encouragement and support, AstraZeneca initiated manufacturing of the vaccine at multiple locations around the world to enable global vaccine supply. From the first deliveries to Ghana and the Ivory Coast in February, within 42 days, 38 million doses of vaccine had been delivered to 100 countries via COVAX, with 37 million of them the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. This is not nearly enough. No country will be safe until all are safe, and some countries are now suffering greatly. In recent days, new agreements to move vaccine doses or the raw materials to make them between countries have been made, but we cannot rely only on vaccines to end the pandemic. Until more people can be vaccinated, we must use non-pharmaceutical interventions to reduce spread of the virus by reducing contact between people. Lockdowns are hard, but they reduce infections and, in turn, deaths from SARS-CoV-2. Both infections and hospitalisation have dramatically decreased as a result. As the lockdown is eased, those most likely to suffer severe disease have been protected. We need to know more. As we develop our understanding of the efficacy of the vaccines against new variants and the duration of protection offered by vaccination, the data will inform policy decisions and allow all countries to deploy the vaccines most effectively. It is also essential to monitor vaccine safety now that many millions of doses have been administered. The benefits of all the vaccines greatly outweigh the risks when virus transmission is occurring at high levels, but we must continue to collect data to ensure the safest use of the vaccines. There is still much to do to bring this pandemic to an end, but the number of vaccines now in use around the world is a source of hope for all of us. Vaccines have been a neglected area of medical research for some time, but the great need for them to protect us against coronavirus has resulted in an expansion of research and manufacturing capabilities. This puts us in a better position to react more quickly the next time that we need to. Deployment of non-pharmaceutical measures against coronavirus has also shown us how we may prevent the spread of influenza and other respiratory infections. I would like to end by thanking the Universal Peace Federation for promoting peace and cooperation to unite countries through interdependence, mutual prosperity and universal values, and bringing particular attention to the leadership of women. It is essential that countries continue to work together at this critical time. Thank you for your attention.
I want to share a few words with you about an extremely important and exciting topic. I have watched the development of Asia over many decades, and I am certainly not referring only to China, but to Japan, Southeast Asia, Korea, especially Korea. And as the expression goes, Asia is where the action is, where the future is. The opportunity for development is immense. That's why I'm here. And in many respects, I believe we're only at the beginning of a long period of sustained development for Asia. Those who speak like Dr. Moon and many others of an Asia-Pacific era are dead spot on. And furthermore, in my estimation, Korea is at the very heart of this global transition. Just imagine, can you imagine what it would be like if what is now the DMZ were open for highway and railway traffic? The opportunities for commercial development and cultural development would be unlimited. This also applies to the potential for an undersea tunnel between Japan and Korea, providing a railway and highway link between these two economic powerhouses. We could drive from Tokyo to London once the barriers start to come down. Once there will be an explosion of growth. Once we open the 38th parallel. It will benefit not only North and South Korea, but China, Russia, Japan, Asia, Southeast Asia, the whole world. Think of the savings alone that will come from demilitarization. If we don't have to spend money on tanks and guns, millions of people would be freed up to live positive lives, build factories, build schools, and improve the lives of everybody around. So once again, I want to congratulate the launch of Think Tank 2022, the International Alliance for a Unified Korea, dedicated to peaceful reunification and opening up of the Korean Peninsula. I know it's a great initiative. I fully support it. In closing, let me say that I have a great hope. The very near future, we will see a springtime thaw in the chilly relations between North and South Korea. Let us work together to bring about a new era in the relations between North and South Korea. I want to tell you that Hanbando, the Korean Peninsula, will be the single most exciting place in the world. Once you open that 38th parallel, it will be it'll be the powerhouse of Asia. So let's please Let's open the 38th parallel. Let's have a big party. Let's sing and dance, and I'll buy the stage.
Recently, UPF has conducted worldwide international leadership conferences from the 28th of April till the 1st of May, held in each region of the world on the theme Peaceful Reunification of the Korean Peninsula. We invite you to watch the highlight video of the conference in Europe and Middle East. After which, Dr. and Mrs. Balcom, President of Family Federation, Europe and Middle East, will give a final closing message.
Today, I'd like to talk about the Japan-Korea Undersea Tunnel project. This project will connect Kyushu, Japan and Busan, South Korea by constructing the undersea tunnel over 230 kilometers in length.
The important point about this is to find what can be done in the light of the experience with the building of an international tunnel, the Channel Tunnel.
It is precisely from the constant commitment of associations such as the Universal Peace Federation that a decisive contribution can be given to strengthening a spirit of collaboration between the two Koreas.
The Korean Peninsula certainly is situated in the very epicenter of world politics.
Why the European Union should maybe pay more attention to every opportunity to have a positive involvement there.
Working together on the Korean Peninsula issue would open certain gates in the stalemate that we have currently in the relations between the EU as a whole and the Russian Federation.
An ASEAN-Helsinki process might be able to agree on measures to develop the North Korean economy, and in a longer perspective, guide its way into the larger international community.
Europeans who promote North Korean society to become a more modern society, which can integrate in a modern political, economic realities.
We need vision of peace and justice for all, but also instruments of practical solidarity between two parts of divided Korea.
And here I'm appealing to something called intergenerational dialogue, since the views of those who are older and who still have memories of unified island and those who grew up in a divided environment may differ, and this needs to be considered in the process.
These issues are never going to be resolved by one superpower or another. They are going to be resolved because all of the countries of the globe come together to make sure it happens.
Век интернета, век технологий, конечно, нужно людям, живущим в Северной Корее, представить эти возможности.
I'm just wondering if it's possible for the Global Times and the Washington Times to write a joint editorial that would look at the future of the Korean Peninsula and the world order.
I could imagine that in Korean Peninsula, the woman could be included in the process.
Надеюсь, что культура будет тем мостом, который можно перекинуть через границу. Общность языка, общность истории, общность традиций, семейных традиций, общинных традиций – это то, что может объединять эти два государства, один народ.
You will feel how the people in both nations were full of hope for the possibility of a reunification built on a common culture and historical ground.
So North Koreans are really intelligent people. They want to learn, they are interested in reunification, and they are very friendly.
First to do is to have the connections between the citizens and to open the borders.
As soon as we want to build Northeast Asian economic community, the first step should be to try to develop a set of principles.
What really matters are not the models or the systems. It is something intangible, a genuine reciprocal understanding, a mutual respect, and the ability to see in the other not the devil, but the little part of God.
Thank you to all of our speakers
were so much uplifted and encouraged by the message, and we're so grateful to each one of them. It was so inspiring, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. You know, it takes vision and courage to see the possibilities of a better future when we're still surrounded by so much bad news, and our hearts really go out to the people of India, Brazil, and the other nations that are suffering the most from COVID-19 at this time. One of the goals of this Rally of Hope is to hasten the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula. And in this respect, I think it's very important to remember the hopes and aspirations of all Koreans, North and South, and of their allies as well. And UPF's Think Tank 2022, which is being launched today, will have this balanced perspective. There's some valuable lessons to be learned from Europe and the European experience. This weekend in May, we're celebrating and remembering the end of that worst of conflicts, World War II. And nations on all sides of the conflict that were previously enemies are pausing this weekend to remember not just the fallen warriors, but also to promise ourselves that we will have a common future and a lasting and inclusive peace. Our founder, Mother Moon, always tells us that there can be no world of peace without peaceful men and women and peaceful families. And many of humanity's worst problems, like war, conflict, hunger, they're of our own making, but we don't have the solution. We need to make our peace with God. Throughout Europe and the Middle East, we have just celebrated Easter and Passover, and in the next few days, Ramadan will come to an end. Whatever our faith, whatever our belief, let us turn our faces to God, our heavenly parent, who wants for nothing more than his children to live together in love, in peace, and in hope.
To learn more about the life story of both our founders, you can read The Mother of Peace and Peace-Loving Global Citizen, which are both available in Amazon. Please also visit our website, thelegacyoflove.org, where you will find all the information about our founders' work for the realization of a peaceful world. We thank you for attending the highlights of the 6th Rally of Hope.